Hello. Okay, this could be an interesting way of doing things. If there was one thing that I had to choose to dedicate all of my time to, it would be the importance of our value as high sensory people. Hey everyone, it's Willow here, founder of Illuminance, and here to discuss this highly important area. And my hope through diving into this is to give you the encouragement to try this out for yourself and to explore what value really means for you. Through my own training, this was one of the areas that consistently came up, and I would hear my mentor talking about value and reflecting my value back to me, and it would go in here for maybe the first year, and then it kind of went here, and then it went here, and it was like, oh, right, okay, I see what you mean, and I see why this is so important. It's one of those areas for us that is actually quite tricky for us to really understand, because our value is a part of our perception as high sensory people. In other words, your ability to be able to see more deeply into the fabric of life in a particular area that fascinates you is your value. And the way in which you respond to that and the way in which you utilize that is how you bring your value and your purpose into the world. It's tricky because we very rarely get the opportunity to talk about this part of ourselves. And also, we very rarely got the training in earlier life to help us to understand that this part of us is of great importance and a fundamental part of our identity and our value and our purpose. So what's happening as we get older is we are living in the world in a way where we feel we ought to, in order to be successful or in order to bring value to the world in our work or our career or our relationships or whatever it may be. But it is rare that we get the opportunity to really dive into and understand how our value really operates. And this is unique to all of us. And this is an invitation to trust that you are of great value, no matter where you've come from, no matter what your past is, no matter what you've been through in your life. In fact, the more you've been through in your life, the more valuable you are because of the experiences that you've had. So this is an invitation to recognize that in order to be able to really understand our value, we have to experience it in action. The conundrum that we have in building a relationship with our value and learning how to experience it for ourselves is that we have to trust in ourselves that it's there, and we have to take a little bit of a leap of faith, and this really is the epitome of a leap of faith, because the invitation that we have, and this is the case for all human beings, but it can be it can be just a little bit more challenging as a high sensory person, because we have to trust that the way in which we see things and how our empathy works and how our intuition works and all that, it is actually designed to work in a particular way. And that is how our value functions, or that is our value in the way that operates and works its magic. But the trouble is we have very, very little, initially, we have very little evidence that that's actually the case. So what tends to happen then is we're working in jobs that we don't like, or we set up a business that isn't really aligned with who we are, and we're trying to make things work in that. We're trying to find our value in that, and it's just not working, because we're not actually engaging our abilities in the way that they've been designed. And so we tend to walk down the wrong path. Why isn't this working? And what I'm suggesting here, and I had to do exactly the same thing, is to get the support, and I'm going to come to that in just a moment. We do need the right reflections and the right facilitations in order to really get an objective experience of our value, which is what the identity journey is all about. And I know many of you have been on that, and if you haven't been on that, this is an opportunity to begin to get the foundations to experience how your high sensory intelligence is working. It's the same process in the coaching program. What we need to do is we need to take a little bit of a leap of faith to create the circumstances around us to be able to witness how our gifts work. And then our value is reflected back to us. And then the more that we build relationship with it, the more we then recognize the value of our value. And that then changes everything. It changes everything because we start to actually connect with the very meaning of who we are. We start to feel this interconnected experience of why we're here and what we're here to contribute. And that feeling for us is what is often missing as high sensory people, where we're just not sure where our place is in the world. It's a journey of self-realization, and it's a journey of self-exploration. And once we have that experience of our value, we see how it works, we get that reflection from the world, then the journey of ownership begins, and we form this relationship with our value, and we form this relationship with ourselves in a whole new way, in where we are able to truly be and do who we really want to be and do, and to truly understand the value and the purpose of who we are. It's a little bit windy up here. So let me just say that bit again. So what's going to be happening most likely as I share this and say this is some of it will go in, and I'm not being patronizing in any way by saying that. This is exactly how it was for me. As I was, some of it would go here and here, and it took me ages to actually hear what was being reflected to me, and until I took ownership of it, and until I began to test that and create the circumstances. And in my case, as a facilitator, it was about getting in front of the right people and speaking my truth and facilitating people that had a shared vision to me. And what began to happen is I started to experience and value it. And it then becomes real. It then becomes a reality, what our place is and how we can really be of service and what our purpose really is. So my invitation is to just take little steps with it. So if you have been through the identity journey, It's an opportunity to go into those key pieces, your enchantment, your sensory awareness, your why, your journey, and to even create small little sentences that you can pin up that remind you of those key foundations of who you are. And to start to create circumstances for yourself where you can get to see those elements in action. This is what begins this journey of ownership for us. And it is one of the greatest breakthroughs that we can really make as high sensory people. It has been the biggest change for me in my journey and for many of the people that I have worked with over the years. So it's an invitation to begin this path, or to continue on this path in the way that is truthful for you, in the way that actually aligns with who you are, with who your abilities are, so you can really get to experience the value of you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.